Did you come up with that name?
It's been our family's business forever. So,
That's nice. I like
yes.
that.
So, hi, everybody. We are live today. I'm here with Tonya Blakely. I'm Angela Hughes with Trips and Ships Luxury Travel. And Tonya is that crazy Disney lady that you see on YouTube. And guess what? This is one of our first meetings. It's our second meeting because we were
Yeah.
both getting our hair done last week. And she was in the chair next to me, and I'm listening to this crazy Disney story that she's telling, and it's unbelievable. And we're going to talk about that. And I was like, I just want to have her on the show today. So, do you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself? Tell us how you got started.
Sure. Well, I'm Tonya Blakely, and my YouTube channel is That Crazy Disney Lady. And it's really weird how this whole thing got started for me because I'm like the least technical person in the entire world. And my entire family says, if anyone in this family was ever going to have a YouTube channel, Mom, we would never imagine that it was you. Hold on, I'm losing my headset here. Can you still hear me okay, Angela?
Yeah, it's a little scratchy, but that's okay.
Okay. How's that? Better?
That's good. We'll
Okay.
roll. Okay.
So rewind 4 years ago, I lived in Kentucky and I'm a huge Disney fan. And we came here on vacation every year since 2004. And we found out along the way that they have a Disney college program at Disney World. And my daughter, who at the time was a junior in high school, um, she was like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, I want to do that one day." Like, you have to be in your second semester of college to be able to apply. So from the time that she heard about it until her second semester, like, she was so ready to apply for the Disney college program. And she got in the first time. And we were like hearing all these stories. People were like, "You never get in the first time. They never take freshmen," and she applied and she got in. So I guess we kind of always wanted to live here in Florida because we just loved it here. And everything, it was like the stars aligned and everything fell into place. And we just moved here. Like, she loved it here. She said she's never coming back to Kentucky. We moved here to Florida. We rented a house for about a year, and then we built a house. I actually love it here, but that's how we ended up in Florida. And then
It was so crazy. Like, what brought you, were you the helicoptering mom that was like, which I am, just hanging over the Disney program the whole time?
I am definitely a self-proclaimed helicopter mom, but I've gotten so much better. Like, I feel like the Disney college program was a great thing for me and for my daughter because she gained independence on just being able to do things on her own. And it gave me like a way to kind of back off a little bit, and I do my thing and she does her thing. And she just recently moved out into her own apartment. She doesn't even live at home anymore. So but so it
What
was a
did you
good
gain from
thing.
that? I mean, what did you gain from that? Where did you just start going, like, I'm going to start going to Disney? Because you're literally at Disney like every single day.
So my love for Disney just started like when my daughter was a baby. My husband was active duty military. We were stationed in Germany. And there wasn't any TV over there in English. So we just watched Disney movies all the time. Mariah and I did, my daughter. She was the only child at that time. So, and my husband was always deployed with the Army, and Mariah and I watched Disney movies. And that's how we kind of just fell in love with Disney through the movies. And we moved back to the States when she was about 4 or 5 years old, and we took our first trip to Disney. And we were hook, line, and sinker. Like, oh my gosh, we were so all about everything Disney. And we started coming every single year. And so then, that all happened. We ended up moving here. And once I moved here, I got an annual pass so that, I could go whenever I wanted to. Block out dates. I got like the platinum Disney annual pass, and you can go whenever you want when there's not a pandemic going on. Because right now we cannot do that. We have to make park reservations, and you can't go whenever you want. And there's, um, maximum capacity levels now. That So that's how we moved here. I got an annual pass. I go to Disney a lot, and I would go to the parks, and I would go live on my personal Facebook page for my family back home in
Really,
Kentucky.
because I want to do this as a little bit of mentoring for, our friends that want to do more live video. Um, because I know that, I consult travel agencies, but I also, consult clients as well. And I know so many people want to dive more into live video. And so at what point were you just kind of for fun, like, oh, I'm going to just show this live and,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
exactly what it
and
was.
then what happened?
I just would go live for my family and friends. And then I actually started an annual pass holder. Well, a friend of mine started an annual pass holder group, and she brought me on board. Four of us kind of like moved here around the same time. And Elizabeth started the group, and the pass holder group started growing pretty rapidly. But before that, even I was like going live on my own personal Facebook page, and people would just tune in and watch. Like they wanted to see what
You
was
kind of
going
find
on
it
at Disney
crazy.
World.
Did you kind of think it was crazy that just people would plug in and follow you around Disney?
Yeah, it would be like there would be like four people on there, and then I would tune in, and there'd be like eight people on there, and then before you know it, like people just kind of started watching, and they wanted to walk around Disney with me and see things. And the pass holder group started growing, and I had established a friendship and kind of like a platform with the college program parents, because things were happening here, and hurricanes or just whatever, and people had just moved their kids here from all over the world, and they're like, what's going on? So I established that through the pass holder. There's actually a Disney college program parents page, so parents that knew me were tuning in to see what was going on here, to make sure their kids were safe. I'm just saying, like, one thing after another, it was just like a snowball effect. And I was like, shoot, I mean, like, there's so many people.
You were just really kind of a highly motivated Disney fan that
Yep.
now became an authoritative figure for people all over the country, for not only the college
Yeah.
program but for annual pass holders. And
Yep.
soon you became the expert, and you don't even really have a background in travel, which is funny because I read your stuff and I'm in your annual pass group, didn't even know it until today. But okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. Like, okay, let's talk about the annual passes for a minute, because
Okay.
I live in Florida, you live in Florida. I feel like so many people are upset about the whole way they've handled the annual pass. Hi, Steve. We've got people tuning in. So I'm just saying hi to people on the line here coming on. People are like super kind of upset about that, although they've given like an extra month to the annual pass holders to kind of, eat. How do you feel about that whole thing?
So I never ever say anything bad about Disney. Like, I just don't, because we don't know what it's like trying to like handle this whole situation that's going on. They've never had to deal with anything like this before. And they're trying, in my opinion, to please everyone. But what do? Your park is shut down for 4 months due to a pandemic that no one's ever had to deal with before. Yes, it is very inconvenient for all of us, to not be able to go to the park or not carry on with real life, and, be in quarantine for 30 days. Um, but we're all just kind of like trying to deal with things the best way we can. And I feel like that's what Disney's doing. Like, they're taking a major loss of in pay. Like, millions and millions of dollars, and they can't please everyone. You have people over here saying, oh, you don't need to open up because there's a pandemic out there. And you have people over here saying, you need to open up because our economy is suffering, and, we need to get back to normal life. And I feel like they're just in the middle of this horrible conflict, and they're not really sure what to do. And they're trying to make the best decisions to please everyone, and you just cannot please everyone, which I'm sure as a travel agent. Like, you can do everything to try to please everyone, and there's always going to be someone that's not happy with how you're handling things. And I just feel like that's where Disney is right now. They're trying their best to make the right decisions, to make everyone happy, and they're under us this, I always say we're like in this fishbowl, and everyone's watching, kind of waiting for you to just screw up so they can just put it out on the internet and make you look bad. Unfortunately, which happened to me recently.
Right, right. Okay, before we go to that, let's go back to your YouTube channel, because that's one of the things I want to talk about. So just so like our listeners and viewers know, how did, okay, so at what point did you decide, like, I'm going to make this official? Like, I'm no longer just live streaming, for the fun of it. Like, at what point was it like a hinge point for you where you're like, I could do something with this?
I was just like, wow, there's a lot of people tuning in. Like, and I started exploring ways that you can actually make money doing this, rather than
look at. So let's go through kind of like, what was your learning process? Tell me about that.
So first of all, like there were friends that I reached out to and I asked them about, I didn't know how to start a YouTube channel. I only knew how to go on Facebook and push the live button and talk to people. And kind of that's still where I am, but I'm like learning things as I go. Yeah, just I reached out to a couple of friends who I knew were more tech savvy than me, and they were like, well, first thing you need to do is you got to come up with a name. And second thing you need to do is you got to figure out what your content is going to be about. So you can like focus on that content. What are you going to put out? What do you want your channel to be about? And so I just, kind of went along with that. My sister always called me that crazy Disney lady. So that's how I got the name. She would always say, oh boy, here comes that crazy Disney lady with all her Disney presents.
You kind of already had your name, where a lot of people are like, oh, find the right branding. But you're like, hey, family's calling me crazy. I'm just going to run with that. That's good.
Yeah. And I'm always loud and I scream on the rides and it just kind of fit me, So that's where the name of the channel came up. And yeah, so I started the channel and
go out to the channel and like, what type of training did you do? I mean, was there one expert out there? Like we were kind of talking, like my cousin, Daryl Eves, is one of the leading YouTube, teachers around the world. And he is so great. So if you're listening, he's one that you want to probably tune into if you have no idea how to get started. He's got tons of videos that can help you through that. But for you, you just went out there and clicked Google and Gmail and got it all.
Well, like I said, I did reach out to some friends who I knew had some experience, and they were like giving me a little guidance through all that. And then I had to find out like what was the best equipment to be using, because I live stream a lot. And
what do you use? Tell us about that. Because that's always a question I've got.
As far as the live streaming goes, what I have found works. I just stream with my phone. I don't know how to work fancy cameras or anything. So I have the iPhone. I think it's a 11 Pro Max. I use that phone to stream with. It has 3 cameras built in. And I use AT&T for my service, and it seems to work good. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a tech savvy person, and the quality of the film is important to me now, just because whenever I watch it back, I do want it to look nice, Mm-hmm. But that's really not my thing. Like I have friends now, like now that I've built my channel, we have a whole YouTube community of friends. Yeah. And there's like Tom does Disney, is one of my friends, and he's really into the quality, and it's important to him to have like the best equipment that's out there. To me, I'm more simple. I have my phone, and he just gifted me a gimbal. He was like, Tonya, you're not using that old gimbal anymore. He's like, you need to update some of your equipment. So he gifted me this DJI Osmo 3, I think it's called, and it's
the stability a little bit better.
It's a stability, and so that helps out. I don't know. It's just
one thing I really like about this whole conversation is anybody could start doing live video. And that's what I think is, right. You're not making it hard. You're not saying that you've got to go out and buy this whole list and you've got to be walking around with, the perfect gimbal. And You're just saying turn on your phone and go for it, go live,
This
and
a
you're a success
stabilizer
story with that.
definitely helps. The stabilizer definitely helps so that your video is like really nice and clean and not shaky. Which you'll notice, I like my first videos. I didn't have a gimbal, and now I do, and it does make such an improvement in the quality of what people are
Right.
tuning in to watch. Um, but
Do people like? I mean, what's kind of your most popular content? Is it, you eating, which we'll go to in just a minute, or the rides, or like how do you measure, like, success with this?
honestly, I feel like people connect with you.
So much. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm just going to throw out there, Stephen Placey, who I talked to, or said hello earlier to on this feed. When he logged on, I actually do some business coaching with him. He's advised me a lot, and that's what he always says is people buy you. And I love that
people
so much. People
connect with
connect with
you.
you. And I just
Yes.
want to give him a shout out for that, because that's one thing that he's really put into my mind, is that people connect with you. And it's the
Yes.
same whether you're selling travel or you're a YouTuber or whatever. It's all about you. It's not the
Yeah,
equipment, really. It's
people
not,
people connect with you and you being real and being yourself and being, you know, I couldn't go out there and sell cars to anyone because I really don't have an interest in cars. You know what I'm saying? It's like when they tune in and they see how much you actually love this and what you bring to it. You can watch. I've had people tell me this a million times. Like they tune into many Disney YouTubers, and it's all about connecting with a person and their
That is such a great,
experiences.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that is such a great business tip that just goes across the board for any of our listeners, is connect and be passionate.
yes,
Because here I am washing my hair right next to you, getting my hair cut, and you could just feel that passion, you could feel that excitement. And I feel like
exactly.
that just goes across the board for any industry that our viewers are in, is, being passionate about what you do. I mean, people want to work with passionate people.
That's
And
what it is.
yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's go on for a minute. Now that you've grown larger, there's been some pitfalls with that.
Kind of,
You,
sort of. Yeah.
yeah.
I
No,
just
okay, so let's talk about this. This is for everybody that's just tuning in. She live streamed from Disney last week. Her friend is allergic to nuts. Had a
turnip.
salad. Yeah.
She took a bite of
Intersected.
my
Yeah.
dessert.
Took a bite and didn't realize that, it could send her into anaphylactic shock. Had a reaction while she was streaming. Um, People decided that she was a COVID case and went crazy on her, that she was
Mhm.
bringing COVID into the park. Story gets picked up by Inside Edition. Tell us about all of this. What happened, and the death threats?
Oh, oh my
Because
gosh,
this is
it's
the
been
craziest
crazy.
thing.
And
Yeah.
I'm still getting these ugly messages, but and I do want people to know that I sympathize with this is not a joking manner. Like I know COVID-19 is nothing to joke about at all. And I do genuinely understand people's concern. But death threats and things like that are, I mean, this is just ridiculous what's going on. It was a minor.
Yeah, kind of tell them what happened with the whole story. Can you just give
Okay.
me play by play?
So pass holders were giving a preview day before the park actually opened officially to the world. And Robin and I were able to get one of the reservations to come in for the pass holder preview. Well, of course, I'm going live. Like, that's my thing. There's like so many people wanting to know what's going on over there. And we've been excited to get back over in the parks every day. It was like a countdown for us. And we couldn't wait to get back over there and share the parks with everyone again because I had been going live right here in this room every day during quarantine. So we were excited to get back out there. And we went out and it was a regular day, like every day. We were feeling great. We were happy to be there. We did a couple of rides in the beginning and we met some friends for lunch. We got to lunch And if anybody watched the live video, you could see we were perfectly fine. Nobody had a symptom. We weren't sick at all. Everything was great. And I actually ordered the kungaloosh, which is one of my absolute favorite desserts on Disney property. I couldn't wait to have some.
People. Okay.
And Robin does have a very serious tree nut allergy. And I said, do you want to try this? And she did ask me, she was like, does it have nuts? And I was like, I don't think so, but I'm not 100%. That's what we did wrong. We didn't clarify for sure the ingredients because she always does that. She'll always ask the waiter. She'll always let them know she has a tree allergy. She wasn't the one who ordered the dessert because normally at Disney, if you order a dessert, they say, do you have any allergies? No, I personally do not. So they brought it over. I offered her a bite. She took a bite, and immediately after taking one bite, she started having the tickle in her throat that was familiar to her because she has had an allergy reaction before to tree nuts. Mm-hmm. So she carries an EpiPen with her all the time. And it was just a tickle at the time. And I was like, we probably should go over to medical, get a Benadryl, or, just to be on the safe side, let's go over to the first aid center. So we went over there and they gave her a Benadryl and we left and walked out onto Main Street. She got a water at Starbucks and she was like, I feel like I might just be really anxious right now, but also I'm not 100% sure that it's not just anxiety. We probably need to go back over to medical just so I can be close by in case. So we went back over to medical. We were just sitting in the waiting room and I was still live through all of this, which is another lesson learned. If anything like this ever happened again, I'll end the video. End of story.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Why?
Yeah. And Robin continued to feel very anxious and became nauseous. And I happened to look over at her and I could see fear in her face. And she goes, I think I need somebody. And that's when I ended the video because I saw the look in her face that she was really getting uncomfortable. So I ended the video. And after I ended the video, I got a nurse. They took her to the back. She threw up. Her blood pressure got sky high. She has anxiety, so that raised her blood pressure. And within an hour, she was back to normal. Like she went through, they never had to give her an EpiPen because she never went into anaphylactic shock. It was just.
Husband's been in an anaphylactic shock, dead on the ground, needing medical attention in the ER to revive. So like this whole thing, when I heard this was like, I was just reliving like my whole anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, and she knows.
But we're venom people. We're venom people and not peanut people. So I was kind of just like feeling so nervous through this whole thing of, of like what could actually really happen here. So she gets out and she walks out an hour later.
She has gone into anaphylactic shock before, and she has had to administer an EpiPen before. And she knows what it's like. So that's why the anxiety was coming in, because she was a nervous wreck about what could possibly get ready to happen. You know what I'm saying? As you just said, you know how terrifying it is. And so she, anyway, she went through all that. She threw up. Her blood pressure went up. She got very sick for a little while. After about an hour, she was back to her normal self. But because she went through all that, we left the park and we went home so she could rest, shower, change, because it was just like an experience, you know what I'm saying? And she just needed to leave the park and go home. So I brought her back to my house, and
Yeah. So what happened to your viewers after that? What,
I'm sure they were like freaking out, like, what happened? Because, I just was like, I gotta go. Click.
Tune in for part 2. Okay.
And then that night we checked into our resort because we were staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and like I said, she felt better before we even left Magic Kingdom, but we just left because, she just needed to go freshen up, and we went to our resort, and she was like, I'm starting to get hungry now. So we went live again from Homecoming at Disney Springs and let all of our viewers know that she's okay. And that's when, like, we noticed people were kind of trolling us. Trolls are people who come into your chat while you're live and say things like whatever. We've had it all. I mean, it could be pornographic, it could be hate, it could be racist. We've heard it all.
I find that people have been like, you had people saying like, you're bringing COVID into the park. She's not really,
she's not really
having a
an allergic reaction. These are COVID-19 symptoms. So that stream actually went really well that night. But we saw a few trolls coming in. But it was the next day when all the crap hit the fan. We went back to Magic Kingdom on the Saturday of grand opening day to the world. Okay. And that's when I noticed like all these people coming into chat. It was like an overwhelming amount of like, Robin has COVID-19. Why is she there? Robin this, Robin that. Why are y'all there? And I was like, what is going on here? Like, Robin doesn't have any symptoms of COVID-19, and neither do I. We're perfectly healthy and fine. Yesterday, she had a tree nut allergy. It was dealt with, and we're fine.
Social media shift to like, you're infecting all of Florida,
It was, and it was just like insane. So later that night, a friend of mine got my attention, and he was like, Tonya, you're not going to believe like what's going on all over like Twitter and Facebook. It had already been spreading like a wildfire, and it was Disney YouTubers are in the park spreading COVID-19 to everyone. Just like those kinds of headlines every day.
I just hate those keyboard warriors,
Oh.
How do you protect yourself emotionally when you've got keyboard warriors just coming after you and you're like, I just want to talk about Disney. I just want to show you what's going on. I want to show you the grand opening. And you guys are going crazy with COVID rumors that have nothing to do with whatever happened.
Yeah. It was crazy. So come to find out, there was a young man on Twitch, which is a gaming platform, that happened to be watching the video.
Yeah.
And he took parts of my live stream. I don't know how people do that, but they were able to like splice the video and put together their own video and posted it out into the internet. And that's the video that was going viral.
Yeah. So, okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. That story is incredible, but let's get back to like just building your YouTube a little bit. Okay. So first of all, you just went out there. I heard you say, first of all, that you used BeLive to film from. Is that what you said, that you live stream from, or you just go straight from Facebook?
I just go straight from YouTube. Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about the channel. Did it just grow organically, or, how did you advertise it? I mean, because nobody just gets thousands and thousands of followers just from posting, how did your organic reach happen?
So I'm not really sure. Honestly, it was just like going live. Going live for me was the key. Like, you can make vlogs. You can make you can make all the vlogs and put them out there, and they just kind of sit there. But I feel like when you go live,
and for people who are just logging in, what's a vlog for people that are just logging in?
Vlogging I'm not sure vlogging is whenever you just take your camera around, you film things, and you're not live. You film with your camera or your phone, or however you choose to, whatever you want to use to get your content with. And you just film your day, whatever you're doing, no matter what it is you're doing. Maybe you're going to Target today, or maybe you're going to the beach today, or just whatever you're doing. You just video it all, and then you go home, you edit it, and you put it out.
All your own editing?
I do all
because you're
my
so
own
unique.
editing.
Because you're just kind of a mom that is just doing your thing, and I think that resonates with a lot of different people. Not everybody's hiring, outside help. So how do you do your editing? Talk to us about that.
I did YouTube that. I learned how to edit by watching other people's videos on YouTube explaining how to edit. And so you just film everything and you bring it home and you edit it out too. I usually do about 30 minutes for each vlog. I put that out there like that. And
your sweet spot, like, is 30 minutes kind of your sweet spot that people will watch, or have you found that certain times matter on your videos? I mean,
I feel like some people, for example, when I go live, I could have 6, 8, 1,000 people watching at one time while I'm live. Sometimes less than that, but there's always like if I'm streaming for 6 hours or 10 hours or 4 hours, depending on however long I'm out in the park and I'm live, I always have hundreds of people watching. But of course, it didn't start out that way. But from what I have learned is whenever you go live on YouTube, and the more people that are tuning in to your live stream, and they come in and they start to hit the like button, YouTube has an algorithm to where they'll pick up, oh, this lady's live, this many people are tuning in, this many likes are coming, so somebody likes it, let's push it out more. So then it ends up like showing up on other people's feeds somehow, and then more people are coming in.
Anything, because you were such a rookie kind of when you started this, and yes, not a digital strategist.
I still consider myself a rookie. I really do.
I mean, you're not throwing out there any keywords or anything, or any.
Yes, I do. I mean, yes.
Okay, talk to us about the keywords for a minute, because why do keywords matter for people? Yeah. Okay. So talk to us about, because I fear that a lot of people that are even watching the video don't know much about keywords or hashtags, or why those are important in YouTube. So can you talk to us about that for just a little chit chat here for a minute?
From the way that I have been told, it's like it makes you searchable. So if you put the hashtags, like for example, today I'm going live from Magic Kingdom. So I set up my stream already. And whenever I set it up, I put in the description, because it allows you to put in a description. And your first 3 hashtags are the 3 hashtags that you want front and center, because those are the 3 that YouTube is going to display for you. So my first
what are the 3? Yeah.
My first 3 today is hashtag live stream, hashtag Disney, hashtag Magic Kingdom. And that way, if anybody searches live streams at Disney, boom, I'm going to come up in their search.
Okay.
So you want to use the hashtags. I always put in a description. A lot of people use like clickbait stuff, which that's not something I do. I just don't do that. Like, oh my gosh, this happened. I mean, I see people put the strangest things for their titles to get people's attention. And then whenever you click on it, it's not really about that at all. You know what I'm saying? So I know people do things like that, but I don't do things like that. But using the hashtags is very helpful. It helps. It just makes you searchable on YouTube.
Tell us your other secrets just surrounding YouTube. I just love those hashtag ideas.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I don't think, and I'm not a big YouTuber. That's why I kind of wanted to talk to you. I go live a lot on Facebook and send it out to YouTube, but it hasn't been my platform. But I think a lot of people do want to use that, and I don't ever think like, oh, I need to hashtag this up, or what's the specifics, or how am I going to get this algorithm moving, So,
one thing I have to tell you is, Facebook is where I started going live also. But Facebook doesn't generate an income for you. So if you're looking to use YouTube or use your platform um, to have an income, YouTube is the way to go, because once you hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you can apply to be a partner with them. And then you start getting paid through ad revenue, or they also have another thing where you can apply for an AdSense. So basically, whenever you're live, your viewers can kind of like tip you. So like if you go to a restaurant, you get great service, you leave a tip. It's kind of like the same thing. Whenever I go live, a lot of people will say, have lunch on me. Thank you so much for the live stream. And they'll send you what they call a super chat. So that's another thing that can generate an income for you.
Let's break this down a minute for the viewers and the listeners. You need 1,000 subscribers.
You have to have 1,000 subscribers.
You were lucky because you just organically gained 1,000 without trying because of your topic matter.
I feel like it took forever to get that first 1,000.
How long did it take? Tell me how long it really did take for you. I mean,
I started the channel in September of 2018. So this September will be 2 years. And I feel like the first year, it took me to get 1,500 subscribers. It took a while.
Kind of painstaking, and then it kind of took off after that.
Yeah.
And were you doing any advertising in terms of like, out in your annual group, your annual past groups or on Facebook, or like how did you acquire
advertising? I don't think I've really
in
ever
the paid sense, but
yeah,
well, not advertising per se, but were you ever like, hey, come out and watch my video, or?
Yeah, no, I do that. And I've already done that today. Like last night I set up the live stream. I've already posted it out on Facebook. And I will just say, I'm going live today at 1:00 from Magic Kingdom, and I'll put in the link so that that'll take them to the actual live stream.
So you set it up with a little bit of a preview for people. Yeah, I like that a lot, and then people can click on that and be kind of reminded that you're out there doing that.
That's correct. Yeah. And also, what you want to this is another thing that's really important. When people just click on your link on YouTube, they can watch the video, but they can't comment or super chat you or have any kind of like communication through that. They actually have to be on the YouTube app and signed into their account to be able to interact with you.
Yeah. Okay. So after you gain your 1,500, how fast did it go to 10,000?
It started taking off. Off from there.
What's the momentum shift? Like what all of a sudden was just like, bam, I've got more YouTube followers. Like,
I don't know.
You just wake up and you're like, I'm at 3,000, I'm at 5,000.
No, it definitely didn't grow that quickly. It wasn't like 15 and then 3,000, but it was like 15. And then it was like, I started seeing the channel growing so much more. And that could be a YouTube thing. I don't know. I don't know if they have like, once you hit 1,500, maybe they start promoting you a little bit
like in a better algorithm. Yeah, you're in a little better algorithm, or.
Yeah, so, I have asked people, and networking. Networking is key. Like getting with other people.
About networking. Okay, so how did you do that? Like in your mind? I mean, networking is always key in any industry, but how did you decide who you're going to network with?
Networking, just like what we're doing right now. Like I'm sitting here talking with you, people like Jill and Catherine and Jana and Stephen, who are in chat right now. They maybe have never heard of me before. And so now these 4 people are like, hey, maybe I'll go check out her channel, or maybe I won't. I don't know. But, networking with other people within your same field, or your same interests. For example, I just randomly came across another YouTuber who is not Disney related at all, but they kind of do what I do in Las Vegas. They're big Vegas people, and they share their love for Las Vegas. And I was planning a trip to Vegas. I came across their channel. I reached out to them, and they have like a huge following. So then they were like, oh my gosh, you all need to really check out that crazy Disney lady if you're interested in going to Disney. So some of their followers came over to my channel, and my followers went to their channel. It's kind of like within the whole community, networking with one another can also grow your channel. So say you
networking.
start a
Okay.
YouTube channel, and there's another lady or gentleman in your business who has a larger channel, and you network with them, whatever you all want to do, and then they can bring you onto their channel and say, I'd like to introduce you to Angela, and this is her channel, and this is what she offers, different things like that. So networking is key.
I like that a lot, because I think we're getting some good tips here. What are you doing now? Okay, so were keywords like, I mean, do you, when you're out talking live, do you try to throw out specific keywords? Because like in regular blogging on Google, you might throw out like a keyword that's significant and you get better search results.
No, honestly, when I'm live, I don't even think business sense. Whenever I'm live and I'm talking with my audience. I don't have anything that I have to do with the business part of it. I do that from home here in the, in this guest room, or, on my phone. But once I go live, I'm talking with my audience, and the business aspect is out the door, and we're just talking and building a relationship with one another.
I like that you just said is, you're talking to one person, and that's one thing, or, you're talking to your audience. You're not worried about, is this going to grow? Is this going to build? Is this going to become something? And I think that's really important, that you realize that, hey, I'm going to break this down. I'm talking to one person out there who wants to watch me go, and not thinking about this great big picture, because I feel like sometimes we can get super overwhelmed when we think like, this is going out to the whole world, and are they liking what I'm listening to or talking about, and are they going to stay involved? Like we often see that we throw out a live video like this and we only have 5 people watching, but then over the course of the day, 400 people have watched it, Okay, so we have a question. Somebody says, how do you stay safe at Disney? So and we're going to jump off YouTube for a minute, because you've been spending the last couple weeks there.
At Disney? So yeah. I guess what the question is referring to, how do you stay safe at Disney right now during COVID-19 and the pandemic that's going on? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people make the choice to not even go, but I just follow the guidelines. Yeah. I mean, I have
doing a really good job.
Yeah, I have chose to go, and I think they're doing a fantastic job as far as like keeping the crowds very, very low, not having any shows, no fireworks, no parades, anything that can cause like a crowd, maintaining social distancing at all times. And I do want to make a point about that. Disney can only do so much. We also have to be responsible adults. If you see that it's starting to get, crowded, remove yourself from that situation, because sometimes I have seen where people aren't as cautious, and you kind of just get into that mode of like before the pandemic, and I'm like, whoop, and I just kind of remove myself from that. But when you arrive at Disney, the first thing that you do is you go through a temperature check. So you go through, they check your temperature. You cannot have a temperature of 100.4 or greater. If you do, you wouldn't be able to come in, and neither can the rest of the party that's with you. When you go through security, the security guards are not touching any of your things anymore like they used to go through your bags. Now they have it set up where you walk through a metal detector, you put things in a bin, and you are taking your own things in and out of your bag. They don't touch it. And then everything gets right down.
TSA thing now, right there, like the airport. You're putting it in, you're walking through. When you walk through the gate, you're not doing the finger touch anymore to get in, right?
No finger touches. It's only.
And so, are you just
your wristband or your ticket to the turnstile there? Hand sanitizer is literally everywhere, and hand wash stations are throughout the parks as well as the restrooms. Social distancing is in place at every attraction. Hand sanitizer is at the entrance and exit of every attraction, allowing just a certain amount of people into all of the restaurants. Um, and you have to be seated. They have tables closed off to try to maintain all that social distancing. The number one thing is like the crowd level, though. Like there's nobody there. It's like empty.
Are you waiting on rides now? Because now without Fast Pass, do they need Fast Pass? But what's going to happen in the future? Because I mean, eventually crowds are going to, they can't operate forever at,
I
this
think they're just
percentage.
trying to take it really slow right now. They're not ready to move on to the next phase, of course, with the numbers growing here in Florida. They're staying at this phase one of opening. And as far as the rides go, the wait times are extremely low, 15, 20 minutes for the most popular rides even. Things that people
Fast
sometimes
Pass.
would wait 3 hours. There are no fast passes right now at all.
Seven Dwarfs has always been a couple hours if you didn't have a Fast Pass. And you're just saying
there's
you're
no
just
fast
jumping on that
pass,
in
and we
15. Yeah.
literally just walk on. There's no there's just really not anybody in the park.
A lot of issues with food changes there. And obviously you were just in a restaurant. Everything's done on your phone now. Do you find that to be inconvenient or convenient?
It
That
doesn't
mobile
bother me at
ordering?
all. It doesn't bother
Mm-hmm.
me at all. You can just place the order right on your phone. It's already connected to your card. It's paid for. You just go up and pick your food up. It's actually very convenient.
Lines, yeah, no more long lines. Like I feel like that's kind of a blessing in disguise, that
Yeah,
one, because
they
I
were
didn't like the
doing mobile
turnstile of
ordering
lines.
before this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just read yesterday that they're saying, and several people hit me and they're like, oh my gosh, you can't carry a drink through Disney anymore or food. What's that all about?
So people were trying to use the fact that they don't have their mask on because they're eating something. So people were just walking around constantly with a drink or some type of food so that they could not have their mask on. And if someone says, can you put your mask on? They're like, oh, well, I'm eating. Well, you can't do that anymore because people, were taking advantage of the situation. So now you have to be in a stationary place to eat and drink. Either at the restaurant or find a
Excuse. Yeah.
table. You can't just roam the parks with no mask just because you're carrying your Starbucks cup.
Okay. So, the biggest question that I get from people with Disney, or the concern I get, is they don't want to go to the parks because they feel like it's just going to be too hot with this mask on. Like, I've got this mask on, it's stifling down here. How do you cope with that? I can't imagine kids
I'll be
are
the
not
first
okay
to
with
say
that.
it does suck really bad. It sucks. I mean, before COVID-19, it was miserable in the parks during the summertime. Have you ever been to Disney World in July,
Yeah.
August, and you're just
Yeah.
literally dying because it's so hot. Like I remember when we used to come here on vacation, we stopped coming in the summer months because it is hot. It's so hot that my kids would just cry because they wanted to go back to the resort and get in the pool. Um, so yeah, it's not any easier, and it sucks really bad to wear the mask. I always keep backup masks with me because you do get sweaty, and it's not fun at all. But I do it because that's what I have to do.
Okay, the one thing I want to talk about before we sign off is, because you've built up your YouTube channel, now that's presented like kind of an influencer opportunity for you. And now you're getting calls from hotels and different things in the area to come, take a look and vlog about that. Talk to me about that a little bit. At what point did you become influencer versus just YouTuber?
I try
Now,
not to do too
and at
much
what
of those
point,
kinds of
what point
things.
did it become, profitable for you, really?
So, oh gosh, I don't even know. I'm probably within just like this last 6 months. It's become something that I can actually consider it an income for me. I'm actually a dental hygienist. That's what I did like my whole life. But I have not worked in
Them,
a
yeah.
dental office for 9 years. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I walked away from my profession after 17 years to raise I have two young boys. And my daughter was the only child for 10 years. And I stayed home with my boys. And, I just now am starting to like see an income that I could actually consider like, wow, this is like something that I could grow on. And
A little muffly on the sound on your side.
oh, sorry.
A little muffled. And so at what point so the last 6 months, like all of a sudden that shifted? And has that changed the way that you decide what your content is going to be?
I think it's
Or
just like it's based on how your channel's growing. Like the more views you get and the more so they run ads on your videos. So you get paid from the ads. You get it's just I don't know how they like get all of the numbers together. You can't hear me?
well, it's just real muffly. Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Well, it's just shaky. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I was just saying that I'm not really sure what all goes into how they pay you.
Yeah.
But I know it's ads and views, subscribers, like all of this stuff comes into play somehow or another. And
When you started getting, so at what point did like hotels and things start calling you to like influence? Just recently?
yeah, just recently, but I try not to do too much of that kind of thing. I did just people have reached out to me many times before, probably for months now, but I don't do a lot of that kind of stuff. Um, just for my own personal preferences. I mean, everybody can do their own thing however they want, but if it's something that might help some of the pass holders get a discount or I don't know. I just right now I'm not at a point
The
where
idea
I'm
that,
doing those things.
well, I like the idea that you're staying with one thing and you're not like trying to become.
I can't hear you for some reason. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we lost you. I can't hear you.
Is that better?
I was just saying that I like how you have stuck with your niche and you're not like trying to venture off into other things. Like you kind of know what your passion is, what your focus is, and you're just narrowing in on that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
okay. Well, any last statement?
the people who come to my channel are Disney fans. So, I mean, mostly. So I like to bring them Disney and Disney related content, and I have plans for the future when we can live in a world of not a pandemic, and we can travel the world and go to all the Disney parks, and all of that stuff is on the bucket list for the future. That we're going to go to Shanghai, we're going to go to Hong Kong, we're going to go to Paris. I'm going to take them everywhere, and I'm so excited about that.
And all the other parks. I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Did because of the COVID incident, did that Inside Edition piece like add viewers to your channel or did it hurt your
Yes,
channel?
it did. So, yeah, just to go back and touch on that, because I did see someone that we don't want to spend a lot of time on it. And even for myself, I've been trying not to spend a lot of time on it because I've moved on from that now. I felt like the Inside Edition piece was like the icing on the cake and let's move on. But yeah, it did actually. Like I got like a couple thousand subscribers whenever I was live that day. I've had 9,500 subscribers when I started on Friday, and this makes about a week, and we are at very close to 12,000 subscribers now. Now,
oh, that gave you a quick bump.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of that came from the Inside Edition because I've seen people come in and say, "I'm here from Inside Edition." But then also some of those subscribers came from the grand reopening of Disney. So I expected to get subscribers out of that as well. But yeah, it's kind of turned into a little bit of a blessing for me as far as the channel goes, that I did gain subscribers through Inside Edition reaching out to me about the story.
People have wanted you to use your channel as a platform, but you've been really specific that, hey, I'm sticking with my topic and I'm not going to lead off onto some political platform or
No
dialogue that's
way.
not
I
Disney
would,
related.
that's not me. I would never do that. I mean, I
Pretty
could,
clear with your
yes.
viewers that I'm not going to do that, right? You
Yeah,
were just
I'm
like,
not going to do that. I'm not going to, I mean, there's
very
so much.
recent. I mean, you're married to a biracial, you're in a biracial family
I
and
could
children and everything.
definitely.
So you have all of the makings of like taking this any direction that you want, but you were pretty firm with viewers. And do people need to be that way? Because people are so ruthless in the comments and, and what they want you to become. I mean, has that been like emotionally hard just to like rein that in when there's negativity from keyboard
Well, I'm
warriors
a
out there?
very, very sensitive person. I get my feelings hurt very easy. I have had to get some tough skin through all of this, um, especially when people are messaging me saying that they know where I live and I should die because, I'm killing people and blah 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 blah. But um, I feel like there are so many negative things going on in the world between the Black Lives Matter movement and what we've seen on TV, the pandemic that's going on in the world, and just the politics. Like every time you turn on the TV, I feel like there's something negative going on. And I've been saying this from the beginning. This channel is for positivity. We do random acts of kindness. I keep the community together. We get together sometimes right here from my guest room, and we talk about um, our love for Disney or what we had for dinner. And I mean, we've been talking about the most random things, like how many times a week do you change your bed sheets? Like, how often do you do that? Is that some people are like, I change my sheets once every week. We've talked about the craziest stuff because the community that I have built on my YouTube channel, I just want it to be all about positive stuff when we don't talk about any. And not that it shouldn't be talked about. It's just I'm not using this place for that platform. I'm using this place for spreading joy and happiness.
Yeah, and I think that we can end on that note. And I think that's just so well said.
Yeah.
I love that you're focusing in on one group. I love more than ever that you're just a mom that started a channel and has just been figuring it out as you've been going,
Yes.
and you don't even know all the dynamics of, all of the marketing of how you could really elevate this, but you're learning as you go. And I think that's a great example for any of our viewers that just want to start something and have a
Yes.
positive impact. And then the fact that you just want to keep it fun. You just want to spill out joy with Disney because
That's
that's what you
right.
love and leave it at that. So thank you so much, Tonya, for being with us today.
You're
You guys
welcome.
go out to her YouTube channel at That Crazy Disney Lady and take a look. I don't know if I'm going to live stream her because I might just be with her next time. Since we're almost neighbors now, so I might just
Yes.
be right there with her. So I don't know if I need to watch her live. I will probably be at the parks with her because I'll definitely be in the parks in 2 weeks. I finally got my reservation date settled, so
Nice. What park did
that
you
was
get?
Magic Kingdom to start with, and then Epcot
Yeah,
and Animal Kingdom. Hard to get Hollywood right now with
it
Star
is.
Wars. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, it
super
is.
hard. I will be so happy to where we go back, where we can just go, whenever we want, and we don't have to make a reservation because that seems really weird for me.
Yeah, it is.
Because
It's
we
definitely.
come home from work and just go to the park, like multiple times a week. And
Yeah.
for you guys that are listening, real quick, if you're an annual pass holder, that was one of the real luxuries of it. You could just go for 2 hours. Like we do it a lot differently than the vacationer. You go in for a dinner, you go in for a show. And that's the other thing. I hope shows come back soon because
Yes.
that's something I'm going to miss right away. So thank you, Tonya, so much. Check out That Crazy Disney Lady on YouTube. She's hilarious. She's showing you all of the insights, and then come back to Trips and Ships and we'll help you get there. So thanks, you guys. See you
Thank
later.
you, Angela. Bye-bye. Bye.